Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet, and welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where today you get an extra healthy side helping of country fried steak just smothered in gravy. That sounds good. I'm kind of hungry today, actually. But yeah, it's Thursday, and oh, for some reason I'm getting a lot of buffering on the stream on my end, but that might be just something going on here. But uh, please try again. Huh? I'm gonna reload my watch page. We'll do that. Took a minute for it to go live, so I'm hoping there's nothing. Oh, nuts! How you doing? Mike Savage, Clinton Whitaker, Kyler. All you need, Green Thunder to Mighty, and I'm still getting an error. Is the watch page okay for you guys? Are you seeing this all right? Because I'm unable to watch my own stream. The chat's working okay, but the stream's not working. Oh boy, you got this feeling, huh? Resolving. Okay. Inside of me. All right. Well, sorry for the quiet moments there, people. I'm trying to work out what's going on here. But hopefully you can see me and hear me. And stream is fine, that says. Good on my end. Ooga, 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 chugga. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not so fine here. But as long as you guys can see, that's the important thing. It's all good, Boomer. Hey, don't look at me. It's YouTube. I know how to hit a refresh. And Redneck Radio day after. Oh, hey, that's kind of cool. 20-minute rental is certainly picking you up. Hey, cool. It's kind of funny to see my name of my channel on somebody's dashboard, but all right. And there we go. Now it's finally picking it up. All right. Well, I don't know what was going on there, but how is everybody on this hump day? And yes, Shio, I did see your joke. Uh, you're not wrong. uh, the green show's active here. Mike Savage says, well, good, good. It seems to be fixed on my end now, but it was given some kind of error, unable to resolve for some reason. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well on this Thursday, this day after Hump Day, uh, which is ending a 4-day stretch of being off work for me. I do have to go back to work tomorrow. But supposedly, unless I get called in, I'm supposed to be off for the weekend, which will be the first weekend, Saturday, Sunday, that I've been off in a month. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If they call me in, I'll go. I need the hours and I need the money. Kyler says, just went and got an oil change. Would have done it myself, but it's cold and sloppy out. Yeah, I have a hard time doing that work anymore for myself because I'm certainly have the know-how. Uh, but physically, I have a hard time doing that kind of work anymore. And in the cold, it's even worse. And actually, it's a little warmer today than it has been around here. It's in the 30s. But it's been bitter cold here where I live down in the teens and single digits. Fahrenheit. I'm talking Fahrenheit for those of you that use Celsius. And I'm not going to look it up for you. You look it up for yourself. Um, so hope everybody's doing good. Really good. Shield says 10 minutes away from the start of the Mississippi, feet of snow to both sides of the road. Wow. Yeah. Well, we don't have any snow on the road. We've had some snow the last couple of days, but it's just been small flurries that didn't stick. And I'm a firm believer that sometimes it just gets to the point where it's too cold to snow, and it's just been that way here. Wife's driving. Well, I'm glad you added that in because I was about to yell at you for texting while driving. Don't do that. But if your wife's driving, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Hello, Mrs. Shio. Quinn, the coldest evening peeps. Hey, how you doing, Quinn? So far, don't have a co-host today. Um, hadn't thought about it, and I put uh honestly uh to be honest with you, I put more effort into taking a nap today, which I desperately needed. That nap. Oh, I did not sleep very well at all, and then had to get up before the sun and go take my granddaughters to school. And then I'm the kind of guy, I do something like that, then I'm awake. So I had to come home and piddle around on Twitter and played some Civ 5 until I started feeling sleepy, and then I got real sleepy real quick. Uh, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see, Shio, if any of those people show up. But for now, it's me. I hope you guys don't mind. And we'll just hang out and talk, which is a big part of what I wanted this live stream to be anyway when I started it. I don't really care if it gets massively popular, hundreds of people out in the chat same time, although I wouldn't complain if it did. But honestly, I just wanted it to be a conversation between me and you guys, and that's like, as I've mentioned before, like sitting around the kitchen table when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to watch. Always knew when we were getting company because mom would have the coffee pot on the stove heating up to percolate, and they'd come over and sometimes they'd play cards or what have you, but they always sat around the kitchen table and just talked. And as a kid, I'd try to sneak in, sit close enough where I could hear their conversation. And that's what I wanted this to be, just a return to conversation. Monty Python's Dying Circus. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, sort of. But they are getting old. All of them, all of the people involved with that are getting quite up there in years. So can't say that it's a completely shocking thing. Zombie Teddy, good day, blood. I got to say, I almost miss your state there. PA is cold and too quiet. Yeah, well, you're not that far away from me in Pennsylvania, Zombie Teddy. There's just one state, Ohio, in between us. So, uh, not that far away, but it's getting a little warmer here. It's up in the 30s. Um, I think that's about all the warmer that it's got. I'll reach over here and uh, take a look at my phone right quick. I got a really cheap smartphone, very cheap, but it's not good for much. But one thing it can do is keep an eye on the weather for 32 degrees right now where I live, which is freezing for those of you non Fahrenheit users. That is freezing. 32, that's the point at which water freezes into ice. So, yeah. So that gives you some idea what it's been like here if that's a warm up, and it is by a lot. Um, but anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Quit yakking long enough to light the cigarette. Shh, I know it's bad for me. Be quiet. Shh. Um, but Hope everybody's doing well. I hope your week is doing good, and that you're at least staying warm. Of course, some of you I know don't live in areas where it's cold, but some of us do. And people ask me sometimes, well, why do I live where I live if I know it's going to get cold in the wintertime? Because all my family's here, and it's more important for me to be near my family than to live somewhere where it's warm. And so I just try to deal with it. And the most importantly of all, my half my grandchildren are here because the other half moved with Mama Minnie up to Michigan. And but most importantly is my dad is still alive and needs looked after and cared for, and he still lives here. So uh Quinn the cultist says you hope it stays cold a while longer, hate spring. Why would you hate spring? Don't understand that. And sees the simple rule: if I can see my breath, it is too cold. Time to go back indoors. I don't mind chilly weather where it's just you see your breath, and you know, uh, actually, I can be pretty tolerant of the cold. I almost never wear a heavy coat. I don't like wearing a heavy coat. I feel too bound up. Um, but I wear a kind of heavy jacket. Wouldn't call it a light jacket. It's kind of heavy jacket, and I almost never zip it up. I don't care how cold it gets. Almost never zip it up. Oh, okay. Well, I get that, Quinn. The allergies, I understand that. Thankfully, I've grown out of most of mine. I don't suffer from them as much as I did when I was younger, but I sure understand that. Functional says, don't hate spring, but love winter. You're nuts. Functional, I love you, but you're out of your freaking mind. Uh, I would much rather it be a little warmer and more comfortable. I don't like extremes of either temperature. That's the reason my favorite season of all is fall. It's warm but not over warm in the during the day, and uh, it gets cool and crisp and nice sleeping weather at night, and it's not too hot, not too cold. Love the fall. Love the fall. It's my favorite. Uh, but I'm looking forward to getting back to some warmer weather. Um, MC says snow is only nice on a postcard from someone else. You are absolutely correct. My mother, God rest her soul, uh, used to always come to me and say, "Oh, isn't the snow beautiful? Isn't it beautiful?" And I'm like, "No, Mom, it sucks. I look at the snow and all I see are tow bills and fender benders and dead batteries. And yeah, no, you can keep it." Snow's fun when you're a kid, but you become an adult, it means work, shoveling walks and scraping your car off. And yeah, not a fan of winter. Sorry, functional, Mr. Snow Mexican. But yeah, that's just the way I feel. Y'all can love winter all you want to. I'm ready to get back to the warmer stuff, but that's not likely to happen. It's likely to get worse before it gets better here where I live. And we're probably not going to see a lasting return to the warm until around my birthday, which is the latter part of March. Um, Zombie Teddy heard Planters is killing off Mr. Peanut. Roast in peace, Mr. Peanut. Yeah, I heard that this morning on the radio on the Bob and Tom show. I kind of agree with them. They were of the opinion that it's hey Six, how you doing? They're of the opinion, and I am too, that it's a ploy. That Mr. Peanut is going to, like, at the end of the commercial, end up alive and well, or it might be a series of commercials that continues the story. You know how Super Bowl commercials can be. And yeah, I don't think he's being killed off for good. He's too much of an iconic figure, you know. I mean, he's been the mascot of Planters Peanuts since well before I was born, you know, and I'll be 60 here come March. Quinn Nicole says the peanut can rot in its grave. For all I care, most peanuts suck. I like peanuts, and I like other nuts. Although, yes, I know a peanut really isn't a nut per se like other nuts because it's a legume. It's a root. I get that, but it's often mixed in with nuts, and I like peanuts. I like walnuts. I like pecans. You know, I like a lot of them. I even like Brazil nuts, although they're hard for me to eat anymore because they tend to be very hard, but they taste good. I like them. And sometimes I even like peanut butter, although I can get worn out on peanut butter very easy because I ate so many peanut butter as so much peanut butter as a kid. That was my mom's go-to. If it was in between meals and you said, "Mom, I'm hungry," there's peanut butter. That was her go-to. Ate a ton of peanut butter. Oh, good news! Apparently, Randy Monkey might be making an appearance here shortly after he makes him some smoke. So I'm going to I'll be behind chat because if I'm watching the StreamYards page, which I have to bring him in, their chat is a little bit behind what actually shows up on YouTube. So I might be behind on your comments a little bit. Only nuts I like are honey roasted. Honey roasted are pretty good. I do like the honey roasted nuts. The nut likes his nuts. Yeah, I do. And what do you call Brazilian nuts? I don't know. This is just what's called Brazil nuts. And speak of the devil, up he pops. Hey, monkey.
Howdy, howdy. How's it going, man?
It's going all right. How's it with you?
Oh, not much. Hang on one second. I got echo going on here because I was sharing the stream.
Ah.
1 second there. Bam. Okay, now it stopped. How you doing, bud?
Oh, not doing too bad. Not doing too bad.
Sorry I'm late, man. I was playing a video game watching that chick with the bald spot on the impeachment hearing.
Oh.
And I went over to make fun of her on Twitter, and I saw your link. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, it is. It's Thursday, so.
Oh no, you're not that late. No biggie. Better late than never, as they say.
So what you up to today? What are we talking about?
Oh, just whatever. You know this stream. It's a box of chocolates, whatever suits our fancy, whatever pops up, dude.
I was like I said, I was watching the impeachment hearing, and oh dear God, is it boring? Oh my God. It is so dull. The repetitive nature of this lady, and I know we're not getting into politics here. We don't do that on this show generally, but I have to talk about this part.
Hey, whatever, as long as we can laugh at it, you go ahead.
She was so ridiculously not competitive, repetitive. Mm-hmm. Repetitive, just saying the same goddamn thing over and over. And I thought it was really funny because what she kept saying is that the only reason Trump was interested in Burisma and all this is because of the Bidens and Biden being up in the polls. And then she went, Fox polls only would talk about Fox polls. She never mentioned any of the other ones. Like, come on, we all know what you're doing with that.
Yeah. The few clips I've seen on Twitter from the hearings and stuff do look pretty boring.
It's so dull, man.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's certainly nothing like, back when I was a kid. I can remember in 1974, 75 just being fascinated with the Watergate hearings.
Yeah, this is dull as fuck, man. As George Carlin once said, it's like watching old people fuck. This is whew, they're making me hate politics, man. I love this shit. This is the stuff that I live for. And I just they're so fuck. Your case is paper thin. Present it and move the fuck on. Stop just repeating it over and over and over.
Yeah. Of course, back in the 70s when the Watergate hearings were on, you didn't have any choice. This was the pre-cable days. You know, there was only 3 major channels, and it was on all 3 channels all day. So you had no choice.
Right. If you wanted to watch something, you were watching this. I get you.
But there were times it was pretty fascinating stuff. But yeah, this, I think I'll give it a pass as far as watching it. But, anything new pop up from it, though?
Not so far. So far, it's just the same old nonsense. I mean, they're literally just repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say that, I'm not kidding. It's literally the same shit over and over again. She said the same goddamn thing. I'm saying it over and over again because that's what I was fucking. I wanted to just reach through and grab her by her bald spot and tell her, stop it.
That might be why she has a bald spot.
Oh, man. And I know I shouldn't pick on people with bald spots. It's not her fault, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But, I mean, when you're boring the shit out of me, I feel like I should be allowed to say shit.
Well, as a person with a full head of hair, no balding going on here on this old man, I feel it's my right to pick on people with bald spots.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not like I added her when I said P.S. Rogaine. Feel that would have been mean.
Yeah. Nuts is out there saying she was on Twitter and getting ticked off. That seems to be my everyday lately, Stargaze. I even got tweeted too by the official Windows account. They picked up on one of my tweets and tweeted me. And they've actually answered my reply, but I missed it for like 16 hours because I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
What was going on?
I was just talking about my new rig, new to me, and somehow they picked up on it, and talking about how nice it was to actually be able to play recent games and not take 4 hours to render a video and that kind of thing. And they picked up on it somehow and said, what games are you playing?
You should have went back at him and said, not GTA 4, because y'all fucked that up.
Well, that was not one of them I mentioned. And actually one of them I mentioned that I was playing recently is kind of a competitor to that, because I've been revisiting lately Saints Row the Third. Love that game. Absolutely love Saints Row. It's so irreverent and it doesn't take itself seriously, but I do love it. Did you take yourself from the stream there? What happened, Monkey?
I may have accidentally done that. Yes. In my zeal to run over and answer your damn tweet. So I can tell them, because I'm still pissed off at Microsoft for what they did there. They made it so many of us can't play. I've never played 4. I got to play like 3 seconds of it.
Uh-huh.
What game were you saying that you were playing a competitor of theirs? I missed that part.
Well, I've been revisiting Saints Row the Third.
Oh yeah, Saints Row is a great series.
I love Saints Row because it's just so irreverent. It doesn't take itself seriously.
Well, the first 2 games were kind of serious.
Yeah.
3, they were just like, fuck it. Fuck it.
You gotta love a game where one of the melee weapons you get is called the Penetrator, and it's just a big floppy purple dildo that you beat people to death with.
I love GTA San Andreas.
Yep.
One of my all-time favorite games. I recommend it even still with its dated graphics and stuff. Such a fun game. But I got it. I was about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through. Maybe a little bit less.
Right.
And my son wanted to get it, and he was maybe 9 or 10 at the time. He wanted it for his PlayStation or Xbox, whatever, because I was playing on PC. I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen anything in here too horrible. Well, I'd never been to the police station. At the police station, they have a 4-foot long purple dildo you can get as a weapon.
Yeah.
And so I go and I'm watching my son play, and I'm like, what weapon is that? Because he's got it and he's just wielding the fucking. Oh my God. Oh
And
my
at 9
God.
years old, he probably doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah, luckily he had no fucking idea what it was, but like, don't let your mom see you use that, okay? She's gonna get us both in some trouble.
Because I remember the first time I played through Saints Row the Third, it was on Xbox 360, and Mama Minnie and my grandkids were still living here, so I had to play it at night while they were asleep. Because you never know what's going to pop up on that game. It's not child friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even a mission where you streak. You just strip off all your clothes and run through the streets naked and try to avoid the cops. But yeah, there were times when they'd come out here to go to the bathroom, and of course they have to visit Papaw while they're out. And I had to pause the game real quick. But no, just been revisiting that. And like I said in my tweet, did try out 7 Days to Die, which I can play on this rig on medium settings, no lag, which is absolutely worlds better than what was going on with my laptop.
Yeah. And it makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah. And Arc as well. Play it on medium settings. It can actually see the ground clutter on Arc, which I couldn't see before.
I turn all that shit off.
Yeah, I probably will eventually, but I wanted to see how it would do,
Sure.
Okay, will it do it? Now, I haven't actually tried rendering a video in Vegas yet. One episode on my laptop, one episode of Redneck Trek would take 4 hours. Not joking.
Yeah.
So I would set it to render when I'd go to bed at night and just, check on it in the morning. But we'll see how that does, because I will be working. Everything is recorded for my next episode, the voiceovers and everything. I just got to get it edited, and I'll do that this evening. So,
sorry, I'm fucking around on Twitter.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
There's
I was reading chat.
Politics going on, so I'm all over the place today.
Oh well, that's cool.
Plus, I'm really tired and kind of dizzy.
Dizzy monkey is best monkey.
Oh man, I was about 3/4 of the way done with Monkey in the Morning. Did I take this fucking medicine? Yes, I did. All right, I didn't take that medicine. Anyway.
Oh, I am glad you said that. I need to check and make sure I took mine.
Yes, you fuckers got to remind each other.
Yeah, yes, I did. I took mine. The Thursday slot is empty, so I must have took it earlier today.
I was about 3/4 of the way through my show, and I started feeling like I'd taken 2 doses of my medicine, which I know I didn't. I know for a fact I didn't, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But that usual state for me is like super dizziness. And I realized what I did wrong, and I'm wondering if this has been my problem with my dizziness lately. I didn't eat before I take it.
Oh. Yeah.
And I'm going to have to do an experiment. I'm going to have to do it on purpose one day to see if that's what it is. Because I have this theory, Blood, right now, that my medicine, the medicine they give me, it's in the capsules.
Mm-hmm.
That some of them are like half full. Because sometimes it feels like my medicine does nothing for me.
Right.
And then there's other times it feels like it's working like it should, but I get so goddamn dizzy that it's like I took 2 or 3 of them, 2 or 3, of my actual doses I'm supposed to take. So I'm caught between, okay, maybe it's that I didn't eat, or They're fucking with my medicine. Neither one is a really good thing because I forget to eat all the damn time.
Well, so do I. It'll be 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, why am I so hungry? Oh yeah, I haven't eaten. I forgot.
Yeah.
And that does happen as you get older, for Pete's sake. I don't.
Plus, my medicine makes me do that. I've told you before, I don't feel my stomach.
Right.
So I don't feel hunger. The only time I'll feel is if my stomach actually growls at me. And it's like, oh shit, I got to put something in that bad boy.
I'd be screwed if I had to depend on that because my stomach growls all the time.
Oh, dude.
My wife complains about it all the time. Go eat. I just did.
Well, at least that would, be a somewhat reminder. Like, oh, did I eat? Okay, yeah, I did.
Yeah. I get amazed that the people out there in chat don't hear it growl because during my streams, it's just going to town.
Oh, dude, Johnny, that sucks, man. He says, I'm taking grandpa's medicine too. Some good old-fashioned Irish whiskey and Coke. I'm assuming he means Coca-Cola. Just got fired today and whatever. Sorry to hear you got fired, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. I didn't notice that. I only read the first part of it. Didn't read the second part.
Yeah.
Sorry. And by the way, hello, Lindsay. Popped in and all y'all. But yeah, it would be a really bad thing if I forgot and double dosed on my medicine. It's not because I do have a prescription for narcotics, but I only take it on my really, really, really bad days because I can't. If I take those, I can't do anything because I'm just loopy as heck. But my regular meds are some pretty strong blood thinners.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really bad to double dose on.
Well, the overdosing on mine could be bad.
Yeah.
Which so far I've never. Okay, never mind. I've never accidentally done that.
Yeah.
The most I've ever done is double up.
Yeah.
And you don't want to block your nerves too much because then your heart's like, what? We don't need to work? Cool.
Yeah.
Nuts says, they make lids for prescription bottles that that lets you know the last time it was opened. Something like that might work for me, but it's the weird thing is it's not just if I accidentally take 2 doses, okay, I get dizzy. That's not a big deal. I just go lay down and wake up later, and I'm better. But like I said, today I know for a fact I didn't double dose. Yeah. I know for a fact I didn't. I still got that dizzy.
Yeah, what I have to do for myself is I set an alarm on my phone for the same time every day to remind, okay, take your meds. But like you said, sometimes I haven't eaten at that point, so I have to wait till I eat something to take it. And so I might forget. So I use one of those, you've seen them, you may use it too, one of those weekly pill boxes,
I have several.
Yeah, my wife takes so much that she has to use 2 of them because all her pills won't fit in one.
Well, the one that I have, I have 2. One of them only has 2 slots, and I have to take mine 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. So I had to have a third one, or a second one for a third slot. Yeah.
But and so if I forget, like I did a minute ago, I didn't remember if I took it or not. I just look at my pill box. If the slop's empty, okay, I took it. But yeah, all the downsides to getting old, folks. You guys are hearing it right now. Getting older.
Right. And RJ alluded to the fact that you can get upgraded graphics for San Andreas. Mm-hmm. Nothing like what you're going to see in, say, Red Dead. They'd have to do a complete overhaul of the game for that.
Yeah.
And once you played something like that or GTA 5, going back and seeing the clunky models they used, I wish they would do a remaster. I wish they would go through and completely remaster that in the GTA 5 engine. Oh, it would be beautiful. Get the same sound. The soundtrack from San Andreas was epic. Just epic.
Oh yeah.
I don't buy video game soundtracks. And if they came out with a full soundtrack of that one, I'd probably buy it.
Yeah.
They may have it somewhere. I've never seen it, but yeah, I'd get that one.
Yeah, there was some pretty good music on the Saints Row the Third,
Yeah.
but after a while, I just turn it off because the same songs start replaying, and I'm like, okay, I'm over it.
Well, San Andreas is the only one where it's like, I could finish this quest or go on to my next quest, keep going with the story. Or I could just drive around and listen to these tunes.
Yeah.
They had what they, at the time, they considered retro rap, which actually comes from the time when, like, I was born. Well, I wasn't born, but I was growing up. And then they had the modern rap, which at the time was Dr. Dre. Dre was dropping stuff regularly. And then they had a rock station at the time. I mean, Welcome to the Jungle was on that fucker.
Yeah.
I fucking love that song. Yeah. Oh, God. I fucking love that whole soundtrack.
I used to do that when I played through Vice City. Was just drive around, just listen to the radio stations.
Yeah, Vice City had a really good one too. I just prefer the ones from San Andreas because San Andreas is like my time growing up,
Yeah, it was, and probably why it wasn't my favorite. I mean, I liked it fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. I didn't hate it or anything, but yeah, my favorite it has always been and still is Vice City, but that's more my time frame, So I get it. Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart, please drop my name from the Streamlabs things here. And guys, donate to Bloodwing.
Yeah.
This show is
Maddie.
brought to you by Bloodwing. It's brought to you by you. If you enjoy what you're seeing here, please hit that like button. Please share. It's one of the best things you can do for any creators you like. And if you're so inclined and have the means, please toss a couple of pennies at Bloodwing. You can throw them as hard as you like.
Yeah. I'll go pick them up. Yeah, I'll go pick them up. There was one thing today. Seeing Maddie reminded me that I seen on Twitter. It's been going on for the last couple of days that kind of aggravated me a bit, and I think you even commented on it once or twice. The whole trad wife thing.
Oh yeah, I've covered trad wives a few times.
Somebody's, I can't remember who it was, Becca something or other. I don't know. I can't keep up with these people. They're just internet celebrities. And I guess going off about trad wives. Now, I've told the story before.
Now, are these people for or against trad wives?
Against.
Okay.
They're saying it's white supremacy.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's white supremacy to be a trad wife. And I get it. There are some of those supposed trad wives that have come out and they spout some racist stuff, and there's been that. Yeah. But
that has nothing to do with being a traditional wife. That has to do with those particular women being shitbags.
Yeah.
You see, we have a problem in our political discourse where we seem to not be able to make separations like that. Like, look, just because somebody is a traditional wife, for those of you who don't know, trad wife, somebody who stays at home, they take care of the kids, they believe they're there to help their husbands out. A 50s wife, but in modern day, she's a 50s wife with an iPhone. Right. But the ones you hear talking about being a trad wife most are the ones, I married Richard Spencer,
Right.
So, they're not mutually exclusive or mutually inclusive. You don't have to have the two together. There's lots of traditional wives out there who aren't fucking racists. That doesn't mean none of them are. Some of them are, of course, but.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie.
Oh, no. The biggest stupidity, Ranting Monkey, is they say that traditional housewives and traditional wives are fine. But trad wife itself, the slang term, is white supremacy, white supremacist dog whistle.
The term itself.
Yes, enough. The actual slang is a white supremacist dog whistle.
I've told this story before, but I'll tell it real quick again. I've been on YouTube now. Well, I'm working on my 4th year, I guess. Aren't we, Monkey?
Yeah, we're going into year 4.
But long before I got into doing YouTube content on this, I've been in fights with feminists and whatnot and stuff through the years. It all started for me back in the 70s, during the second wave feminism, when there was a group of neighborhood feminists in pantsuits wearing, that's how you could tell them in those. Today, you can tell them by their funny colored hair. Back then, you could tell them because they wore pantsuits. But would come over and give my mom grief because she was a stay-at-home mom and always was to the end. Said, oh, you should, be liberated and go to work and everything. But this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to stay home and take care of my family. This is what I want to do.
It wasn't that long ago, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. We actually read a story, this chick, because usually you'll see the feminists like, look, I'm standing up so you can be whatever you want to be. So it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom. Now this bitch is like, fuck stay-at-home moms. Like,
yeah.
Go fuck yourself, lady.
Yeah. Well, it's like I went into, because I was having actually, which is rare with these people, a civil conversation. So I went into where, the origin of a lot of these traditional housewives came from, which is basically fundamentalist Christianity, either side, either the Protestant or the Catholic, following the Bible, being submissive to your husband, letting your husband make all the decisions, and you staying at home, just being the quote unquote dutiful wife. Okay. And then they were trying to say, well, Christianity is also rooted in white supremacy. So now you're treating the religion as a monolith, which it is not.
Well, my parents were very religious. I mean, heck, my dad was the pastor of our church until he started getting a little funny in the head in his later years, Mm-hmm. And, my mom was all that. But if you think mom just rolled over and let dad walk on her, you didn't know my mom whatsoever. That wouldn't work. I'll put it to you this way. When he started getting a little, where he'd have moments where he'd get funny, in the head and not be quite right, she'd just tell him, hey, you can go to your room. And until you decide to come out and act like a grown adult, you can just stay there. And guess what? He did. He went to his room.
I mean, it astounds me how they always, equate both of them together. And I understand, because when the KKK was a thing, a lot of times when people would argue them, what would they do? They would cite passages from the Bible as to why they are the way they are. So I understand that, but not everybody that's a fundamentalist Christian or a classical Catholic is a white supremacist. That's what I was trying to get through to these guys. But no, you can't rationalize shit like that, because then they're like, oh, now you're listing exceptions to the rule.
Yeah. And it's like, and I respect what mom did. And if my wife had wanted to do that, I would have been willing to try to bring home enough bacon, so to speak, to support that kind of lifestyle. My wife, however, wants to work. And I'm like, okay, well, go ahead then. You go right ahead. In fact, she says, I'll never retire. And I'm like, are you nuts? I'll be 65 in 5 years and I'm freaking retiring. Screw that.
Yeah, I mean, their logic astounds me. And then the last person I was arguing with was trying to call, of all people, Shapiro a white supremacist, because a lot of these shooters had him as, followed him on Twitter and other social media. I'm like, oh, so guilt by association. So what if, let's say, just for the sake of argument, they were all following Rachel Maddow? Oh, I thought you wanted to have an intelligent conversation and not deal in what ifs. Yeah.
Well, they just don't seem to understand that there are some women and some men too. They're stay-at-home dads and stuff. That's what they want to do. Mm-hmm. They're not being made to do it necessarily. That's what they want to do. That's what they get enjoyment from.
Yeah.
Staying home, taking care of the family. And it's an important role, folks. If you think it's easy, try it sometime.
Yeah, and the biggest joke of all is during all this, one person goes, "Oh well, if you want to keep this is the kind of stuff that defends them, like accusing me of being a white supremacist apologist." And I'm like, I'm not apologizing for those assholes. I'm just pointing out the historical significance that you people seem to miss.
Yeah, it's not easy to be a stay-at-home parent. Trust me, that's a lot of freaking work. A lot of work. And you don't get any days off or paid leave.
Nope.
My wife and I were just discussing the other day, when our kids were small and if they had to be taken to school or whatever, sick or not, we got up out of the sick bed, took them to school because that's what you got to do.
Yep. These people that have these arguments are like, you guys, you're like a horse with blinders on. You're only seeing one way and one way only, and that's not the way it works. It's not black and white. There's lots of different shades of gray in between that you're not looking at.
Yeah. Cynical Lindsay says, my parents didn't make enough for my mom to stay home, but they did not want to put us in daycare, so they had opposite work shifts. Dad worked mornings, mom worked evenings. My wife and I done the same thing, except in our case, it was usually she worked during the day and I worked the overnight shift because I was more comfortable with me as a man to work the overnight shift. Didn't like the idea of my wife out there running around at 2:00 in the morning or whatever,
I mean, it's just, do I mind working out of the house? No. Do I like being at home and doing the freelance thing so I have plenty of time to do stuff? Yes. And now that we have a little puppy, it's, I can't stand the thought of going to work for 8 hours and having her in a crate for the 8 to 10 hours that I'm gone when you factor in travel time. I've never, believed in anything like that. But I know I can't leave her alone for more than a certain amount of time because she's small. She can't hold it.
Yeah. See you, Kyler. Have a good day at work, dude. Even though you don't want to go. I'll tell you.
Have a good day, Kyler.
That was have a good day. That was Ronan's mentality this morning. He didn't want to leave.
Hey, I've worked all my life because that's what I had to do. I don't think it's ever been because it's what I wanted to do. I'll be honest with you.
There were times I actually liked working.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And actually, to be honest with you, I wish I could do it now.
Well, now that I've went back to work, I feel better about myself. It's getting me out of the house for a little bit, and I like talking to people and being in the situation I'm in, working in a smoke shop, I get to talk to a lot of people, so.
Yeah. Well, I went from working, my very first job was at McDonald's, which I became a manager there. I was customer facing for about half the time I was there. I went from that to the machine shop where it's so loud you can't really communicate with anybody except for on break.
Right.
And that's when I realized it. That's when I realized I need human interaction. And I don't just mean talking with my wife or talking with my children. I need like the public.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why YouTube has been a decent fill in for that.
Yeah.
If I didn't have this, I think I would have already gone nuts.
Oh, absolutely. When I started YouTube, my oldest daughter, Mama Minnie, was still here with her kids. And I was usually the only adult with them here, awake during the day with them because she had to work, And so Papa babysit it. And don't get me wrong, what it's like. I love my grandkids. I love them to death, and I love being around them. But sometimes you just got to talk to an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's not the same.
Yeah. No. And YouTube filled that need for me at that time, and, but now I get to go out in public and talk to people, although some of them are crazy. It's interesting because our shop literally shares one wall with a redneck bar. And so, we get some interesting people in there. I mean, this is your first, the name of the bar is the Big Dog Saloon. So, yeah. That just screams redneck.
This is something I found that's rather refreshing on Twitter for a change. Apparently, there's this game that went down because they're patching it. Okay. So, yeah, this person on Twitter going, I legit want to live stream Play Temtem, which is another one of those creature collection games. And within 30 seconds, they announced the patch and the server's going down. Why me? So Temtem responds with nothing personal. We're sorry. So they respond with in all caps. So we know this is sarcastic as hell. How dare you fix your game when I want to stream? And Temtem quotes it and goes, how dare you stream our game when we want to fix it?
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times recording Redneck Trek. I'll go to record because I get time. And then there'll be a message right on the startup little thing, because it's an MMO. So when you first fire it up, what you get is just this little thing that says play or patch or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there'll be a little message there. The servers will be down at such and such time for maintenance. And I'll look at my clock and the servers are down.
Yeah.
Well, can't play now.
Yeah. I think that happened to me once when I was going to stream. I'm like, okay, it's close enough. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stream Star Wars because, I want to go ahead and stream it. And then open it up and it's patching and it's still patching. And it's like patching a couple hours later. And I'm like, crap, I'm going to be late. Fuck. So I tweeted out and I'm like, yay, the day I decided to play SWOTR, it's patching, guys. I have no clue when I'm going to start this stream now.
Vansma says they're loving playing New Vegas. I'm one of them odd people that I preferred 3 to New Vegas. It was okay. I don't know.
Did you play 1 and 2?
Yes, I actually still have them on DVD.
It's been my experience that people who played 1 and 2 like 3 more than Vegas.
Yeah.
And that I like 3 more than New Vegas as well. 3 was more. Of course, there were the changes like the VAT system and all that, but it was more in line with what you got from 1 and 2.
Right.
Where New Vegas, I like New Vegas. Don't get me wrong, and it's a fun game. It's a good game, but it didn't quite feel Fallout to me.
Yeah,
it felt just a little off.
And I didn't hate Vegas. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it as much as 3.
Right. Yeah. I just preferred 3. If I get the choice, I'll play 3.
Yeah. I played the heck out of some Fallout 3.
Yeah. Mr. Dax says Fallout 3 was very linear. Well, so was 1 and 2, man. The first game was so linear that if you didn't do it right, you would lose in a time thing. The original Fallout had a timer on it.
Yeah.
They had to take it out because fans eventually bitched about it enough. But the original Fallout, yeah, you were supposed to get this stuff done. And if you miss side quests, you miss side quests. Otherwise, everybody was going to die back in the vault. You were trying to clear their water for them.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And if you look at it, a lot of the Skyrim was linear as heck. It didn't feel that way because of the open world concept, but it was still very linear. It led you right down the path to the end.
Yeah. Morrowind was the first one that really got Bethesda a lot of fanfare because Arena and Daggerfall, those were okay, but mostly just nerds knew about those. And then Morrowind came on. It was this great open world game.
Yeah,
but it's still the actual. There's a story there that if you follow it, it's quite linear. Yeah. You can just go wander off if you want to. Oblivion was the same way.
Oh yeah.
I understand what people say when it's too linear, but almost any game with a story kind of has to be by default.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's a story you're wanting to tell, it has to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be. Midnight Exile says, I wanted to play the Nords against the Imperials and take over for myself. I'm ticked off that I didn't have that option.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Cannibal Caretaker says, spent easily 5,000 hours on Skyrim, never have beaten it. Oh, I've beaten it so many times, but as I've mentioned before, I am an altaholic. And if you don't know what that means, is I'm always making alternate characters, which makes it tough to finish.
It does. It does.
I never beat Skyrim. I got bored with it, actually.
Yeah.
The dragons annoy me, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care. And making me trek all the way through the mountains, and no. Just take me back to Oblivion, where I could just ride my horse across the plain.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I loved Oblivion. Oblivion was good. But I spent a lot of time in Skyrim, and it feels like probably half of that slowly walking because I'm over encumbered because I'm too greedy to drop anything.
Oh yeah, that's where fast travel comes in handy.
But yeah. So what else we got going on? We've talked about a few things.
Well, he finally got Ronan finally got his license changed over to Texas because they were finally able to get him a load to go back to Atlanta so he could get one. And he said he, got back to work today. And he said he walked into his supervisor, his main dispatcher's office just as his main dispatcher goes, here's your information. Here's the updated license. Now leave my best driver alone.
Well, good for him. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, he spent 7 hours at the Texas DMV.
Well, hopefully it'll be worth it and it'll help you all out because I know you've been in a little bit of a tight spot in recent days. So
yeah, it's let's just say for those of you that don't know what a Band-Aid brigade is in terms of a truck driving company, it's when your truck has something wrong with it that's major, but instead of going ahead and fixing it the first time, they just patch it. And this was back in October, where somebody not paying attention ran under his tandems and created an accident that wasn't his fault. He wasn't charged for it. But the Band-Aid brigade didn't fix it all the way once. They didn't fix it all the way twice. It took 3 trips back to the garage for them to fix it properly. And by then, out of each day, took 2 or 3 days that they were only giving him breakdown pay, put us behind a week and a half to 2 weeks on everything. And we're still trying to catch up. We haven't fully caught up yet.
Yeah, I think about Ronan often when I'm working. I have a regular customer that comes in daily to buy a handful of cigars. And he's constantly complaining about they still got my truck in the shop.
Yeah. Yep. He said that that's the most frustrating part of his job is just the fact that they don't, if it's broken, if it broke down, they don't fix it right the first time. They just patch it. Just to get it back on the road, enough to get it, rolling again, but they don't fix the problem. And when they don't do that, inevitably it's going to go in the shop for like a week, and then you have a driver without a truck that can't go anywhere. And in the driving industry, there, other than breakdown pay, if those tires ain't rolling, you're not earning any money, folks.
Nope. Hey, Pat, how you doing? Love me some Pat.
Hey, Pat.
Yep, I kind of had to chuckle the other day because yesterday I did another blog post because I'm trying. So far, I've only missed 3 days of my 365-day blogging challenge, which isn't bad if I do say so myself. And yesterday was the second anime posting about anime that I did, and I lost 3 followers on the blog, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm like, whoops! Oh well.
Yeah, you gotta love it when you tick people off.
The first one was a review of one that I thought was refreshing, was really good. And the second one was basically about a character specifically in an anime that I thought was rather interesting. And then at the end, I put my thoughts as to, why I don't 100% like the character. And I guess they were like, oh my God, this blog is turning into a weeaboo blog. I don't want to follow this anymore.
Yeah, well, if it's not your thing, then yeah, go on.
Yep.
You know, you all know I'm not particularly interested in anime and so forth. So yeah,
just skip those kind of things.
Yeah.
I don't stop following somebody for it. It's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll read next time.
Well, it's like there's plenty of other things on my blog. There's like writing advice. I actually, every once in a while, I do life updates. I write short stories on there, creepypastas. And I finally got off my ass and made a page on the blog that people could click on and go directly to where all the posts are for the short stories, so they don't have to scroll or, use the search bar to find them. So, I'm slowly finally getting the blog post, the blog organized, because for somebody with ADD, that's an accomplishment, folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that got done over the course of the day. And then yesterday I finally did my services page for my blog. So anybody can hire me as a freelance writer, ghostwriter, transcriptionist, or what have you. So
well, good.
Yeah, now starts the oh hi, I can do this shilling, that part that I'm not very good at.
Right, good. You're doing an awful lot of typing in the background there, Monkey. Who you telling off?
Right now, C-SPAN. Sorry. Let me mute this for just a second.
You're
pissing me off.
You're fine. I knew he had to be telling somebody off because.
Right. I was like Ronan this morning when he got back over there and he's calling me and he can tell if I'm aggravated by the speed in which I type. So I'm sitting here responding to somebody and he goes, "Who aggravated you?"
Oh, if you listen to me type, first of all, I can't type. I've tried many times to teach myself to touch type, which I do get the concept. I can do it, but I'm really slow at it. And it usually doesn't take very long before I get frustrated and revert back to my 2-finger style. But when I type, I use the Columbus method. I search it out, discover it, land on it. And I tend to land on it pretty daggum hard. So listening to me type is pretty funny.
I don't touch type. I'm a peck typer.
Yeah.
But I've done it so long and so often that I can do it very fast.
Yeah. Well, with me too. I've been timed at something like 32 words per minute, something like that, which with 2 fingers, that's hauling butt.
Yeah.
I actually use 4 fingers when I type. I also use my thumbs for the space bar. And I can do about 70 words if I'm paying attention.
Yeah. I'm between 60 and 70 when I do that, but I learned how to type regular. The problem is every time I've gone somewhere, like when I used to go to temp agencies and they go, "Oh, you need a typing test." I can zoom. It sounds like I'm going Mach speed. Test me on how fast I type, and I'm fumble fingers every freaking time.
Yeah, my wife's a touch typer, and I'm a believer because of her that touch typing is hard on your keyboard. And here's why. You look at my keyboards, and all the letters are still there.
Yeah.
You look at hers; it's the exact same age as mine, and they're all wore off.
Oh yeah, I had that happen. I had that happen once to one of my keyboards when I was married to my second husband, and I wound up, funnily enough, going to Michael's and finding an alphabet sticker set that looked like old round typewriter keys and putting them on the letters that were no longer there.
Yeah.
And my husband came in the office, looked at my keyboard, and he goes, "Don't you think you need a new keyboard?" I said, "No, it still works. I just needed to,
Now the one that amazes me is my son, J Kid, that, most of you know J Kid. That boy can fly. And I'm not joking. He does well over 90 words per minute.
Yeah.
He can fly. And I'm like, good grief, how do you do that? And he's the same way with texting. He'll text on his cell phone and his fingers just flying all over the place. I'm like, yeah, I would take 10 minutes to text out the same message.
Right? I remember when I first started working or getting office jobs. I was a receptionist for a law firm. I had the office manager and me in the same space. And I'm sitting here doing something and I'm hearing tick, 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 and she'd stop. And then I'd hear tick, 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 stop. About third time that happened, I'm like, Kathy? She goes, oh, I type at 100 words a minute. The computer only does 70. Have to wait for it to catch up.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. He amazes me. I watch him. I'm like, oh my gosh. Of course, you know, he, like a lot of people of that generation, had to learn it in school.
Yeah.
When I went to school, there were no computers. You had to go to typing class to learn, and most guys just didn't go to typing class because you got made fun of a lot.
I took typing class. I just couldn't do it. Having my fingers that close together trying to type doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And especially now with my ring finger on my left hand is permanently bent.
Yeah.
I can't straighten it completely.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes for weird things when I try to bend my fingers all at the same time. So my last two fingers don't work anyway really well when I'm trying to type. So I just keep them the fuck out of the way and let my hands fly. I do it my way, damn it.
That's right.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There are some days I think there was one time I put a meme that I made long time ago on Twitter because I was having a hard time. My fingers some mornings just don't want to do what they want. And I discovered that all I had to do was move a couple of inches to the left, and then my groove was back. So I made a meme saying, can't type worth of crap. Move 6 inches to the right, types like a pro.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, I've tried often because there's different programs out there that you could get, and there always has been, to try to teach yourself how to touch type.
Yeah.
And I've learned it. And boy, I've typed the name of my city a million times. If y'all don't know, I live in Indianapolis, and that for some typing programs, that is an exercise, because to type Indianapolis, you have to use every finger on both hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just type it over and over and over. And I'm like, oh, crap. I live here. Why do I got to type it?
Just autofill, dagnabbit.
Well, that's what I on texting. I am the world's worst texter. I use voice to text. I'll admit it. I don't.
Oh, I like voice to text. I can text if I have to. Why would I when I can voice to text? Damn it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just terrible at it and slow.
It's like, I think the first look of is there a horn growing out of my mom's head that I remember was when I was homeschooling Paul, and I got the Mavis Beacon program. I put it in there. It was for him to learn typing, but instead of setting it up for him, you know, I had faith that he'd read the instructions. He wound up teaching himself 10 key first. He asked me for help. I walked over there. I'm like, oh, that's 10 key. You just have to do this. And he saw my fingers flying over the 10 key pad over that part of the keyboard. And he's like, how did that? And you're fast with the keys and this. Paul, the only thing a cash register is an over-glorified 10-key device.
Oh, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. When I first went to work where I'm working now, I didn't have any. I had a lot of skills that would translate over into being a cashier, but I didn't have any actual cashier experience. And the lady's like, you know, asking me, and yeah, I could do that. I mean, I was a cashier at the limo company I worked at, but we didn't have a cash register. It was all done on the computer and by paperwork and stuff. But she's saying, oh, do you think you can handle a cash register? I said, honey, I had to be trained on a 10-key calculator when I worked for FedEx, you know, because I was a ramp agent and you had to do weight and balance. So, yeah, I think I can probably figure it out. She's the dumbest thing she ever asked me, though, was she was showing me around the shop, you know, and everything. And she said, here's our sweeper, and you have to sweep the floor every night before you go home. You think you know how to work that sweeper? I said, I think I can figure it out. Probably. Like, seriously.
Sofane just tweeted out a video of I-85 in Atlanta being on fire.
Oh yeah.
It's on fire underneath it.
Yep.
It looks like a bonfire on the bottom side of the underpass.
Yeah, it does. I'm looking at it.
What in the heck is burning on the underpass?
I don't know. That is fucking weird.
I mean, yeah, I know that a lot of petroleum-based products are used to make a road and on the road and to seal it and so forth, but I've never seen it burn. Wow. I'm gonna have to go over and check that out for myself.
Yeah. Georgia, the home of, eternal traffic and what the fuck overpasses.
I just that don't make no sense. I mean,
No.
unless somebody put a bunch of shit up under there.
Yes, could possibly be, because there are homeless people that will climb that fence in that video just so they can have a place to get in out of rain. So
sure, but I mean, that seriously, it looks like somebody like has a pile of leaves up there they set on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. It's like, wow, all right, whatever.
Well, looking at the shadows in the flame, I'm looking at it now. It looks like there's pieces of wood and stuff sticking up. So they might have had some homemade shelters built under there, and they caught fire, or they torched them.
But just the top of them?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's no fire underneath it. It's just the fucking overpass itself. That's so weird. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that is odd. That's never.
And he mentions that apparently this is the same spot that burned and collapsed a few years ago. So I mean, maybe they have a problem with people doing that. Maybe that's where they like to get some heat for themselves. Fuck, I don't know.
That may be. I mean, we've got a few underpasses here in Indy where the homeless will gather up and sleep and so forth, and it's colder here than in Georgia. So yeah, it's not unusual to see a fire burning under there. But yeah, that's weird.
All right.
I recognize that noise. Okay, well, so dead air. So what else we got?
I don't know. That was about the only thing. I actually went to bed starting that conversation and woke up to the stupidity continuing this morning. I hate it when that happens.
Oh, don't you love that? I had the dumbest Twitter conversation going on my timeline that I think that's ever since I've been on Twitter. I think it was SDA posted a video of some guy smacking a possum and knocking it off a set of stairs or something. And all I did.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. All I did was tweet like, the guy's lucky he didn't pull back a bloody stump, because them possums could be real little buttholes.
Yeah.
Vicious, especially if you get them cornered. I know from experience. Anyway, people started commenting on my comment, and it ended up being a conversation about the morality of shooting possums with a BB gun. And it went on for days. Are you kidding me? Oh, God bless it. Seriously. And I knew what the one person was trying to say. They were saying they're thinking regular cock lever Daisy BB guns, right?
Yeah.
They're not very powerful. Heck, we used to play cowboys and Indians with them. Seriously, I'm not joking. We would play with BB guns, so there was no question of, you missed me. No, I didn't. I got you. You knew if you got hit.
Oh, yeah. It's like the people freaking out over the lady catching the chair because of the golden retriever going straight for the pool in the water with his wheelchair and shit. And they're like, oh yeah, she'll save the chair and not the dog and blah blah blah. And I'm like, number one, golden retrievers can swim and love water. Number 2, those wheelchairs are made to come off easily. And number 3, she grabbed the chair so it wouldn't hurt the dog. People, come on.
Yeah, the chair could have easily dragged the dog down and drowned it.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
I got to be. I want to go back to the possum for a minute. I had no problem with that man slapping the shit out of that possum.
Oh no, absolutely not. I'm just amazed that he's lucky that he didn't get hurt.
Oh, he is. You're right.
Yeah.
But I saw so much arguing about this is animal cruelty. Okay, in a perfect world, he'd have had a gun and been able to blast the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and it's up on his porch. Yeah, get that fucker off there.
Yeah, and besides, possums live in trees often, and they can take quite the fall and survive.
Mm-hmm.
I smacked the fuck out of a possum. I backhand that. I bitch slap it.
Oh yeah, because they little buttholes.
Like, tape this, and I would just. Yeah, they're little shitbags.
But the conversation that was going on in my Twitter timeline, in my mentions, I was like, I get what the one person's saying because they're thinking of little Daisy lever action kids BB gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not strong. That's torture. That's animal cruelty because it's just going to hurt it. You do realize that's not the only kind of BB gun out there. You know, a pump action, the ones that you pump up can be as strong as a 22 and you can absolutely hunt with them because I've done it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I'm not for abusing an animal just to abuse an animal.
Right.
But this thing's up on your porch. You got to get it away from there. What was he supposed to do? Nicely talk to it, pet it, take it down, set it on the ground. You're going to get the shit bit out of you.
Oh, yeah. People, wild animals are wild animals. Real quick before I get into that, Willie Billy, thank you, Willie Billy, who formerly known as Willie Ham. I have no problem blasting a possum in the head. Yeah. Wild animals are wild animals. Years ago, we lived in a house and this trio of juvenile raccoons showed up on our porch. You could tell they weren't full-grown adults because they weren't quite big enough, but they were pretty good size. They were juvenile. And my wife's at the front door. She's got the front door open with the storm door closed, and she's watching them. Oh, they're so cute. I just want to feed them and everything. And I said, yeah, you think they're cute now? You reach out there with food in your hand and see what you come back with. You'll be lucky to have any fingers left.
Yeah.
Wild animals are wild animals, folk. I don't care how cute they look.
Yeah. And it's like they call possums in Georgia, southern speed bumps for a reason. Them suckers can take a licking.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now, yeah, and of course the argument went on, well, they'll usually play dead. Yes, possums are famous for playing dead, and I've seen them play dead, but they don't always play dead. You get one cornered and it thinks it has no way out. You've just run into a buzzsaw because that thing will eat you alive.
Oh, yeah.
It just the dumbest things. Just people will argue about them on Twitter. Sometimes I think it's just for the sake of argument.
I know. Yeah. I remember when we were still in the roach trap. I went to bed. Everything was fine. I woke up, turned on the computer. I had 99 mentions. Apparently, somebody got into an argument, and they decided to call me in on it. And the only thing I remember tweeting is, I just got up to see 99 plus mentions in my Twitter about people trying to drag me into bullshit. What the hell's going on? And I got about 4 responses. Sorry, Maddie. Sorry, Maddie. Sorry, Maddie. It's like,
this went on for, I kid you not, 2 days in my mentions.
Yeah.
And all because all I posted was the guy's lucky he didn't lose some fingers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I said. Or something to that respect. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh,
I'll be honest, most of the time. Oh, sorry.
I got to mute myself. My work's called.
Okay.
Most of the time my Twitter blows up. It's my own damn fault.
Sometimes it's my fault. Sometimes not. And that was when there were a lot of people that used to hang out with me in my Discord when I used to hang out in my Discord. And I got to get that back again. But I always made it known in my Discord. If you bring drama up in my damn Discord, you're the first one that's gonna get kicked out because I don't do that. Don't drag me into your shit. Don't make me choose a side. Don't make me, be on your team or the other person's team. If there's an argument and there's some drama and you want to drag me into it, leave me out.
I get tagged for it all the time. And this is why, guys, when I tell you sometimes I don't see your tweets, this is why. And I understand why people pull me in. It's like, hey, look at this, because they think it'll be something I'll be interested in. And a lot of times it is. But by the time I see it, it's meaningless to me because I'd have to go back 100 tweets to see what the hell started it all. And I'm not above jumping in at that point because I am who I am. And I like to fuck around on Twitter. I'm not going to lie. This is where I go to do that stuff. This is why sometimes I don't see your messages, guys, because that does happen. Or like the other day when I commented on Elizabeth Warren's tweet and all of her little fans got their panties in a wad about it.
God, those little stands. You gotta just love stands. Them people are absolutely off their rocker.
It did just blew up my Twitter for 2 days, and I just ignored it for the second day. I'm like, all right, we'll just let this calm down, and we'll come back the day after. Pat says, I usually DM you. That is the smartest way to do it, Pat. Because that way I'll actually see it most of the time.
Yeah.
But then that same day, I got some jackass who was he actually fucking DM'd me, Maddie. DM'd me. Why did you leave after you got shown to be wrong? Which, by the way, I wasn't wrong. You should just take the L, you knuckle dragger. That's what he said.
Wow.
And then he actually had the nerve. He screenshotted what he thought was so devastating to my argument. We were talking about, the impeachment trial.
Oh.
And they said, you can't wait for the courts. And I like, do you know who Richard Nixon is? I said, look it up. And the guy shot back, well, you know how they found out about him, right? And my answer was, I'm fairly certain it wasn't in the Senate trial. Well, this idiot just went to Wikipedia and pulled up the first part there. It says that it happened in the Senate committee, and they're not smart enough to know that the Senate committee is not a Senate impeachment trial. And so, yeah, I was apparently hiding because I was devastated by that. I'm like, no, I just didn't see how dumb you were. But actually went into my DMs to say that.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, you wanted smacked around more. I'm sorry. I got busy.
I was like this one argument that I got into that I must have really said something. It doesn't take much to tweak these people's nerves. This guy was insulting me with every word in the book. And it's like, I knew what he wanted because he knew, what my background is, what my ethnicity is. And I responded with, if you're looking for a particular racial epithet, I believe the one you're looking for is spick. Go ahead, say it. I know you want to. It's fine. It doesn't trigger me anything. And I didn't hear from him again after that. Like, okay, that's what I thought.
Well, it looks as though I'm going to have to go into work.
Oh, okay. Somebody called in, did they?
Well, one of the assistant managers is having to go home early, and so I'm only going to go in for a couple hours, but I got to jump in the shower and get on my way. So unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to end the stream a little early, guys. And I hate that because I was enjoying it. And it's been such a long time, Monkey, since I've had you on here.
Indeed. I'm happy to come hang out again, man. We'll do it again, though. Like I told you the other day, I'm trying to get on a more normal schedule, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Real quick, though, thank you, Pincalo. Remember, he's impeached forever. Thanks for the donation. But, yeah, I'm going to have to get out of here, guys. Sorry about that. This wasn't planned, but, got to work. Got to do what I got to do. But thanks, everybody, for showing up. Thanks, Maddie, for coming in. Thank you, Monkey, for popping on.
Sure.
Real quick, anything you all want to shout out?
I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. That's my blog. It's got everything on there. So
There you go. Okay.
Not
Well,
from me, sir. Not from me.
all right. Well, hopefully there'll be a Redneck Radio this Saturday at 2:30, and there'll be an episode of Redneck Trek on Sunday, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. But till then, guys, get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.
Bye.